Hare Krishna. So now we are starting the study session of Gopāla Campū, chapter 10, destruction of Vatsasura. As on previous days, the talks began in the early morning. Snigdha Kantha spoke. After describing their pastimes while they were extremely young, we will describe their pastimes at the end of their tender Kaumara age. In my heart, I worship Krishna's and Balarama's age of Kaumara, in which they gave up drinking breast milk, in which their limbs became well-formed, in which their restlessness became prominent, and their long eyes trembled during play, during which they constantly laughed and were absorbed in interesting pastimes, during which they became the source of pastimes for all their friends and strongly desired to see the calves. Balarama was white with blue cloth and Krishna was blue with yellow cloth. They became skillful at tying the milking ropes and rattling the milk pails. They were fickle in playing and imparted various emotions of love to their friends. They gradually learned to dress themselves. With effort, he put on the cloth given by his mother and thinking he would tie it, rejected his mother's help. He became embarrassed on only being able to half dress himself and put on his clothes as quickly as possible. When Nanda would go out with the cows, Krishna and Balarama would go with him and wander about in all directions. The boys would sit on the lap of Nanda or all the people who came to the forest out of affection for them and would ask about the objects in the forest, giving joy to all. Saying boldly, "I'll go first," though forbidden to do so, they would take 2, 4, or 6 cows and herding them in front, go off playing. Incessantly laughing, they would run while herding cows and bulls and would stop them by grabbing their horns. They would stop 5 animals at a time. When some days had passed and mealtime had passed, Yashoda began scolding Nanda with affection. "Are you not doing something unprecedented by taking the 2 boys to the forest?" When Nanda asked permission from Yashoda and Rohini for the boys to go to the forest, the mothers refused, causing the 2 boys to feel cheated. They became shy and sorrowful. Being prevented, the 2 boys cried with anxious hearts. One time, they secretly departed in order to join their father and give joy to their companions. But not recognizing the right path, they met in a pasturing ground outside of Vraja and began playing like herds of calves. Understanding the active nature of the boys, Nanda and Yashoda again considered with minds fearful in order that they could preserve happiness. Since the 2 boys cannot remain without association of the cows, let them take care of the calves at a place close to Vraja. Privately, considering the matter with his brothers, who knew mantras, and finding an auspicious day through priests, he had the boys begin herding the calves with the chanting of auspicious mantras such as Punya Havachana. The great cowards happily gave the young boys the duty of protecting the calves. The 2 boys appeared beautiful after being bathed, dressed, and fed by their mothers while holding sticks, milking ropes, flutes, and buffalo horns. When leather shoes were brought for him, he refused them, saying, No, using them would be a blow to the dharma of respecting the cows. Seeing Krishna act in this way, Balarama also rejected the leather shoes. Considering the shower of nectar from those feet, the earth removed all the thorns from that place and made the surface into dust. fine like pollen by having the cow's hooves break it into small pieces so that Krishna would wander with his feet in Vrindavana. In this way, Vrindavana, free of insect pests and thorns, is praised in Harivamsha. With the appearance of the fine footprints of Krishna's lotus petal feet everywhere, everyone became filled with bliss. I will now return to the present topic. When the boys departed for herding the calves at the auspicious moment, servants who defeated Devatas and caused all auspiciousness, carrying ingredients like splendid betel nut, colorful umbrellas, chamras, and silk cloth, followed after the boys and experienced indescribable inner happiness. Starting with their mother and father, at every door, the excellent women offered great wealth and performed aratrika with jewels shining like lamps. They sprinkled the boys with fragrant flowers and glorified them with auspicious songs. They satisfied the boys with a profusion of befitting sweet words. With wide eyes, they saw the boys in front of them. The two boys then departed after offering respects to the elders while experiencing the skill of faultless sounds of musical instruments. The Devatas performed the same activities. Dressed in blue and yellow cloth, Krishna and Balarama appeared glorious among the children and calves as they played using flutes, canes, leaves, horns, ropes, balls, and wooden puppets. Looking at the boys in the distance with tenderness, the pious leaders then returned home. After going some distance, Krishna, Balarama, and the boys first let the calves wander freely and then put them in a group and brought them to a place filled with fresh grass. The boys played there until lunchtime. The two boys played their flutes, scattered fruits about, and went here and there, making sounds with their ankle bells. Imitating bulls, they fought with each other, winning against the opponent. With great affection, taking support of friends, they fought each other with great noise. Having the calves eat the grass and drink water, Krishna and Balarama then inspected all of them. Having the calves eat the grass and drink water, Krishna and Balarama then inspected all of them. Krishna and Balarama then inspected all of them. Among the calves, he hugged one with his arms to relieve its itching, and touching its forehead with his own, he said, "If you want to go to your mother, I will arrange that." With such useless words, he satisfied the calves. Among the calves, he hugged one with his arms to relieve its itching, and touching its forehead with his own, he said, "If you want to go to your mother, I will arrange that." With such useless words, he satisfied the calves. After the two splashed water on their friends, they put on special forest clothing and wandering about became astonished on seeing the wonderful animals and birds. After the two splashed water on their friends, they put on special forest clothing and wandering about became astonished on seeing the wonderful animals and birds. When the two boys imitated the sounds of an animal, that animal would approach them. When they imitated the roaring of lions or tigers, seeing the animals become frightened, they stopped making those sounds. Happy because women sent by the mothers arrived with lunches at noon, Krishna quickly called his friends by playing his flute, whose notes sounded like human words, in order to give them bliss. When they all gathered, the women honored them put them in lines and had them sit down, placing Krishna and Balarama in the center. Since the boys desired to eat, the women then served them the food in the proper order. For fun, some of the boys criticized the food. They argued with the women, and some of the women answered back. After the amusement of hearing the conversations, a qualified nurse spoke to Krishna when he seemed to refuse the food in order to give pleasure to the servant boys who could obtain the rejected food. Carefully, I brought drinks and delicious food. Rohini has carefully prepared it and sent me. Yashoda has repeatedly ordered me that you should taste the food. You should please us three by eating. After joyfully taking lunch with friends like Rama and Dama, Krishna performed Achamana and the nurse gave him a golden box filled with camphor flavored betel. She said, "Oh, child," after carefully taking lunch with friends like Rama and Dama, Krishna performed Achamana and the nurse gave him a golden box filled with camphor flavored betel. She said, "Oh, child, please follow your mother's orders," and giving up your childish behavior, quickly returned home. Going some distance, considering the boys engaged in playing, she turned her head and with flashing eyes said to the boys, skillful at herding the calves, "Coward boys, you are the life of Yashoda. Please bring Krishna back quickly." When the women had gone, the boys fed the calves the tenderest grass mixed with flowers and headed slowly towards Vraja while dancing, laughing and playing. The sons of Brahma praised him from the sky and Devatas showered flowers. Krishna took the path leading home. Along with Balarama and his friends, Krishna began walking back in order to bring the calves to their pens. Gathering the calves in a group, he became joyful at this success and seeing the beauty of the calves experienced contentment. The inhabitants of Vraja saw in front of them that Krishna was approaching. As in the morning, he was decorated auspiciously. He offered respects to his mother and father and joyful in their presence went to his house. After bathing, he put on fresh clothing. Quickly eating, he then became happy by milking the cows. Calling the calves by saying the mother's name, he laughed as the calves scurried to their mothers. Calling the calves by saying the mother's name, he laughed as the calves scurried to their mothers. Servants brought the abundant milk to the house. Coming to the house, he pleased his mother and then offered her respects. Going to the rooftop to rest, he gave bliss to all. Putting the sons to sleep, the mothers, surrounded by servant boys, went to the main building to do the chores. Putting their sons to sleep, the mothers, surrounded by servant boys, went to the main building to do chores. After the boys had spent some time blissfully in Vrindavana, cruel Kamsa, hearing the news of Krishna's arrival in Vrindavana from spies, began to think, "This child of Nanda seems to be the child hidden by Vasudeva deceptively, according to Durga's prediction. The child has taken a new body and killed Putana, whose powers were uncontestable by greater power. My heart fears even his name. He must be killed by some trick. He has thwarted greater and greater devices. It has become useless to attack him. calling a servant, he said, "What does he have most attraction for?" The servant said, "He has great affection for the calves." Kamsa said, "You should go to your room." He spoke to another person. "Bring Vatsasura to me. He has caused disturbance to Indra." That person, showing courage with respect, brought Vatsasura. Vatsasura stood there in a humble state like a drop of water. As dirt dissolves in the presence of water, Kamsa's heart melted in the presence of Vatsasura. He whispered to Vatsasura, "My friend Vatsasura, please go to Nanda's Vraja and then approach the boy who herds the calves." Who herds the calves in place. Disguising yourself as a calf, attack him. Thinking one should follow the king's orders, he went to the place as ordered. At a clean place on the bank of the Yamuna called Vatsakridana, Krishna, who kills such demons, while caring for the calves, saw the demon who was poisoned to the eyes. At a clean place on the bank of the Yamuna called Vatsakridana, Krishna, who kills such demons while caring for the calves, saw the demon who was poisoned to the eyes. Vatsasura began proudly wandering about with his false motives. The calves sensed his presence by smell at a place with abundant grass. The calf sensed his presence by smell at a place with abundant grass and became agitated at his sight. Seeing their condition, Krishna said to Balarama in a solitary place, "Elder brother, have you seen a calf near the water which did not come with the others in the morning?" Elder brother, have you seen a calf near the water which did not come with the others in the morning? Balarama said, "No, brother." King Krishna said, "Please examine things carefully." Balarama said, "It seems to have a ferocious nature." Krishna said, "Oh, elder brother, it is a demon." Balarama said, "That's true, since he's suddenly looking at the calves and us with a cruel glance." Krishna said, "If you give permission, I'll kill him." Balarama said, "I fear gossip from the people." Krishna said, "On killing him, it'll be clear that he's a demon. No one will criticize us." Balarama said with a smile, "Killer of the enemy, the demon is very devious. Slowly approach him by some trick." Krishna marked with the Srivatsa called the calves close with a stuttering sound and relieved the itching on their throats and bellies. Playing and singing everywhere, he spread joy. Thinking he had obtained his opportunity, the demon disguised as a calf approached Krishna to be scratched. Showing an affectionate nature, Krishna took the calf by its feet and tail and began twirling it around. By twirling the demon around many times, the demon lost its powers and reverted to its original form. In order to make fruits fall from a tree, he hurled the demon into a bale tree. The cowherd boys praised his grace, which was like that of a dancer, and his power of knowledge. The Devatas showered laughter and smiles. One could not distinguish the shower of flowers from the shower of smiles. The Devatas, raising a wave of laughter with smiles, said, "Certainly the conclusions concerning Krishna, the killer of demons, has been fulfilled." They express Krishna's thoughts as follows: "I am a coward and I know about cows. If anyone hides himself, I can understand the enemy of the cow by inference. O enemy of the Devatas, disguised as a calf, how can you escape my hand? If you desire to be free when dead, you can have liberation." In protecting the calves, Krishna and Balarama protected all people. To do this, they took their breakfast and then kill demons. Krishna and Balarama returned to their houses as on previous days. They told their friends to keep the killing of the demon secret since it would disturb the elders. When Kamsa heard through spies that Krishna had killed Vatsasura, he closed his eyes repeatedly. When he fainted, his ministers revived him with great difficulty. He then began to consult with his ministers. I have sent many skillful, proud people to injure Krishna, but none of them have been able to produce auspiciousness. Though I request them to fool him, my plans are thwarted and they are killed. What should I do? The ministers said, Oh Lord, we can take the help of Bakasura, who is very powerful. Those who know him understand that he is the wickedest of all. Kamsa said, yes, he's my best friend. Please send him here. Cruel Bakasura, protected by Kamsa, the torment of devotees, knowing that Krishna would Cruel Bakasura, protected by Kamsa, the tormentor of devotees, knowing that Krishna would come to the place called Bakasthala at the mountain of Nandishvara near a lake, fixed himself there like a moving peak of mountain. Krishna would think that he was a mountain with a gaping mouth resembling a cave. The cowherd boys, along with Krishna, grazed the calves, made them drink water, and keeping them on the bank, drank water and bathed each other. Getting out of the water, they dressed themselves. They spread out to collect flowers to decorate themselves. While picking flowers, they saw Bakasura. The boys thought, "Is this a mountain in the distance? How has it come here? I see it as a peak. It looks as if Indra has struck it in anger with his thunderbolt. I think it is not a mountain, but some type of animal which must have done something wrong and is hanging its head. I think it is a crane with a sharp beak and frightening appearance." Krishna said, "It looks like a bird, but does not behave like a bird. It's some new type of crane which is sitting here like a mountain." Desiring to come closer to it, Krishna began to speak with deceptive words. As a baby snake, poisonous even to touch, approached a frog out of curiosity. Lotus-head Krishna, surrounded by the boys holding raised sticks, approached the beak of the crane as if he did not know about the demon, though he actually knew. As a frog tries to swallow a young snake, Bakasura tried to swallow Krishna but could not close his mouth. Oh, by this action, which was like dense darkness covering light, he caused great disturbance to Balarama and Śrīdama and other cowherd boys. Just as Balarama, knowing Krishna's strength, experienced pain when Krishna went to deliver Rukmini. Since Krishna was like a blazing fire in his throat, Bakasura spit him out quickly. Since Krishna would burn his insides, the demon understood that it would be impossible to swallow him. It would be impossible to swallow him. Like a fool, Bakasura tried to squeeze him with the tip of his beak. But just as Bhima killed Jarasandha, or just as child uproots a bamboo tree by his unlimited strength, Krishna destroyed Bakasura's beak using his hands and then killed him. When Bakasura swallowed Krishna, the boys and Balarama fainted. When he spit out Krishna, they became conscious. Natural prema does not give regard to others. The Devatas and the boys became jubilant. When the killer of Vatsasura killed Bakasura, the Devatas began dancing and playing musical instruments, picking jasmine flowers from the Nandana garden. In great joy, they showered these flowers continuously. Observing Krishna's intention and looking on in surprise, they laughed at Bakasura. Oh fool, when you tried to swallow me with your neck, I helped you. If all your limbs were torn apart, what fault do I have? When Krishna emerged from Baka, the boys immediately regained their life. How can one describe their tears, trembling, choked voices, and change of complexion? With great excitement, they immediately went to the lake and bathed. Leaving the place and taking the calves, they departed for their houses. With great excitement, they immediately went to the lake and bathed. Leaving the place and taking the calves, they departed for their houses. Returning to their houses, they described the actions of Bakasura and how Krishna killed him. On hearing the two descriptions, the people first became frightened, with limbs burning, and then moistened as if devastation would take place. Then their hair stood on end. This reaction is not unsuitable, since they began to relish the new sweet as nectar. First disturbed and then joyful, they gathered together and went to Nanda's house. Weeping and seeing and touching Krishna's lotus face, they talked among themselves about all the demons killed, including Bakasura. What pious acts have this child and his father performed in past lives? When offenses have the demons committed, what pious acts have this child and his father performed in past lives? What offenses have the demons committed? For otherwise, why would they kill Krishna? Or why would Krishna kill them? Because Nanda and others, on appearing in this world, experience bliss. They are not described in terms of material existence. Shukadeva has also said this. Iti Nanda Dayo Gopa Krishna Rama Katha Muda Kurvanto Ramamanasya Navindam Bhava Vedanam. In this way, all the cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaja, enjoyed topics about the pastimes of Krishna and Balarama with great transcendental pleasures, and they could not even perceive material tribulations. When Ugrasena's sinful son Kamsa heard that Baka had been slain, he became he became disturbed. He became disturbed and began to think, they were all expert at deception and killing, but we're all killed. Therefore, I think only therefore, I think only Vyomasura is suitable for this job. He is the son of Sarva Maya, famous for his strength and highly esteemed. Thus Kamsa, born from the hard womb of Padmavati, brought Vyomasura and engaged him in the job. Flying in the sky and viewing the whole area, he saw near Kamyavana Krishna acting beyond his age, surrounded by boys of similar age, sporting in a group but without Balarama. Seeing that, he began to contemplate. Playing, they call each other names like son of servant, family of thieves, thief in front of my thief in front of my eyes, and dear to the fools. Playing, they call each other names like son of a servant, family of thieves, thief in front of my eyes, and dear to the fools. They are imitating sheep, shepherds, and sheep thieves. They cannot say where the stolen sheep are being taken. The shepherds cannot count the sheep since there are so many. The thieves come silently. The thieves come silently without being seen. The boy with dark complexion seems to be the shepherd. The thieves come silently without seeing them. The boy with dark complexion, the thieves come silently without being seen. The boy with dark complexion seems to be the shepherd. That boy should not come near me since he's more brilliant than 1,000 suns. I should not secretly take him away. He's now inattentive. I can easily steal all the boys who are like his life fair wandering about externally. When he becomes overwhelmed with agitation without struggle, I will be able to catch the leader. My master will be also pleased with a half-finished job. Thinking in this way, he disguised himself as a coward boy, acting as a thief, and entered their playing. Entering a deep forest, he took the remaining boys who were acting as sheep. Stealing more and more boys, he kept them in a cave, and then sealed the entrance with a rock, just as an insect seals another insect in its nest. Just as a lion roars after a dog and attacks him, Krishna, knowing the demon was afflicting the innocent boys, approached the demon in agitation and catching him caused him pain. Approached the demon in agitation and catching him caused him pain. He threw down the demon that had been taken away the boys because of their small size. He threw down that demon that he had taken away the boys because of their small size and blocking their laughter. He threw down the demon that had taken away the boys because of their small size. He threw down the demon that had taken away the boys because of the usual size and because his life had treated him like an animal suitable for sacrifice. Thinking in this way, he disguised himself as a coward boy, acting as a thief, and entering their playing. Entering a deep forest, he took the remaining boys who were acting as sheep. Stealing more and more boys, he kept them in a cave and then sealed the entrance with a rock. He threw down the demon that had taken away the boys because of their small size and blocking his life air, treated him like an animal suitable for sacrifice. When the firmness of all his joints was destroyed, Krishna let go of him. Seeing his footprints, he followed them to the door of the cave. Breaking the stone cover, he entered the cave while shining brightly. He destroyed the darkness in the cave and the darkness of the boys' hearts. The boys whose pain in the cave was not as great as the pain of separation from Krishna, on seeing Krishna, regain their life airs. Standing up and weeping, the boys caused pain to Krishna. The boys felt the mountain was also crying as it echoed with the cries of the demon. Krishna pulled them from the cave. Surrounding him, they became free of sorrow by his touch. Seeing the frightful demons dead, they went to the gathering of their friends with joyful hearts. The boys and the Devatas began praising Krishna together. The boys related how they were stolen by the demon. In this way, Krishna entered Braja. Seeing the dead demon, the Devatas, enemies of the demons, showering flowers and revealed the feelings of Krishna. When thieves play in that place, their dream dharma is. Showering flowers and reveal the feelings of Krishna. When thieves play in that place, their breathing stops. You have become devoid of life, Vyomatam. What did I do? Finishing the story, the narrator spoke. O king of the cowards, you have given birth to a son who has killed 3 demons headed by Vyomasura while playing. Experiencing the death of Vyomasura directly and filled with great happiness and decorated with smiling faces, they returned to their houses. Hare Krishna. So we have completed chapter 10 today. So I would like to stop here. We will continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna.